you like a Würfel Reviews logo? If you do, then you might want to buy a t-shirt with the channel's logo. Just head to geekygoodies.com/würfelreviews and grab a t-shirt for yourself or your friends. By buying Würfel Reviews t-shirts, you are supporting the channel, and I'm thankful for that. And don't forget that you can also support the channel through Patreon. Just head to patreon.com/würfelreviews and choose the reward level that suits you best. Your support means a lot. With enough support, this channel will continue providing you with the content, and you will be able to contribute to that as well. Thank you to everyone who watches and supports the channel.
Hello there folks, today we're taking a look at the game called Muse. It's published by Quick Simple Fun Games and the designer is Sorenson. And in this game you're playing in teams, and in your teams amongst you there is one Muse, and she saw a dream and she is giving the hints toward the dream, and then you need to guess what was her or his dream inside all those different dreams that are on the table. So let's take a look at how the game works, then you will understand a little bit more. So the Muse is played in teams. You can play with 2 or 3 teams. I usually like to play with 2 teams. Now how the game does work. So in each team there are those who guess the cards, and then there is Muse who hints towards that card for their teammates to guess. Now, how does it work? So, one team will take 6 cards from this deck of those beautiful cards with beautiful art, and 2 of the hint deck, of the inspiration deck. So, and then you will take a look at those. You and your teammates will take a look at those. And you will basically wanna choose a combination of one of the inspiration cards and one of those, I like to say Dixit-like cards, beautiful dream cards. So the thing is that those inspiration cards, as you can see, for example, they say a word with exactly 6 letters, or name a non-fictional animal. And there are more of those as well here. Let's say what it says here is that name a non-fictional building structure or a monument. And doesn't want to zoom right now. Then we have name a non-fictional article of clothing. What's here? Name a non-fictional body parts. Name a non-fictional mode of transportation. Non-fictional, just you shouldn't come up with anything that's not existing in this world. Use a finger to draw shape into the air. So most of things are name something or strike a pose or something like that. For example, strike a pose using any part of or parts of your body. So you're trying, for the other team, you're trying to make a combination for the other team's Muse. And let's say I'm gonna say a word with at least with exactly 6 letters, and then you're gonna maybe take I don't know, this. It's not the right one, but let's say I'm gonna take this one out of those. So one of those hints will go back. We don't need that. Then your team will give this combination of 2 cards to the other team's Muse. And then the other team's Muse will look secretly at those 2 cards. He knows only that card. He doesn't know about all the other 5 cards. He doesn't know what's on the other 5 cards. And then, using this inspiration card, he must give a hint. He or she must give a hint. Say a word with exactly 6 letters, and then he'll take a look at that and like, I don't know. I don't know what to say even. Is Earth? Is not. Maybe something with cosmos. I don't know. Cosmos, for example. Is cosmos a word? Yeah, cosmos. Yeah, space is 5. So let's say cosmos, whatever. So then he can reveal this one now to his teammates and say, so I have to hint towards the card saying exactly a word with exactly 6 letters. So something like that. Then he will say that, he or she will say that to the teammates. So as I said, cosmos. Whatever. I don't know if it's a real word. Cosmos, it's in the other languages, it's like space. So, but then all those 6 cards those beautiful dream cards will be shuffled, and they will be put in the center of the table. Then on that teams where the Muse was hinting towards, that team's players will now try to guess what their Muse hinted towards to. They will look at this Cosmos, maybe this one's science fiction-y type, you know, but maybe they will look at this and say, oh yeah, that's obvious one, you know, that's Cosmos, gonna guess that. If they guessed right, that team gets a point. If they guessed wrong, the other team gets a point. So, and you play until 5 points. So that's basically the whole game. Then when one team has guessed, then now they take the role of choosing those cards and the inspiration cards, and they dream card the combination of those for the other team's Muse, and then the other team's Muse will try to hint towards the card the best way possible, and your team will now guess those things. And you can change the Muse roles within your team however you want, and that's how you play Muse. So here is Muse. The box cover is amazing. The component wise, the cards are fine quality, they're a little bit more thin, but they're linen finish, and it's not about the card quality here, you can sleeve them as well. I like the art. The art is amazing in this game. It's just so beautiful. And when we talk about the gameplay, I like Muse. So the thing about this one is that I like how it takes the kind of the element of Dixit and kind of the element of something else. I don't know really what to name, but when you take those 6 cards and you take those clue cards are different, and you create a combination, give it to the other team's Muse, and then he or she need to give a great hint. The thing about this one is that in this case, this game is not about just giving you the hardest combination. So this card doesn't make sense, and this clue doesn't make sense altogether with this card. That's that. No. Then, by the way, I tried it many times, and then I have seen people like, oh, he took a long time to give a hint. He or she took a long time to give a hint. Probably had a really hard card, and then they pick that card which just looks the hardest. It looks the hardest to guess, and then they guess it right. So in this game, the whole thing revolves around, if you are the ones who are picking those cards for the other team Use, you need to take a look at all those 6 cards and kind of take the combination of the two, the hints, the inspiration card, and the card itself, the art card, that kind of matches few other cards in this 6 cards. What I mean is that you kind of try to make the most confusion. So this card is about space, and this card is about space, and this card is about space. So, or this card is about vegetables, and this card is about vegetables, and these are vegetables. So let's and you have those this kind of a clue about the name a non-fictional vegetable or fruit, whatever. And then you combine those cards. So you're trying to make the most confusion, because the Muse, the other team's Muse, will take a look at only that one card, art cards, and give a hint. So she or he doesn't know what are the other 5 cards. So he or she might give a hint which confuses her teammates even more, you know, which is cool. And then the other part of the game, the fun part, is that when you look at the players discussing, when you look at the Muse doing something and struggling in her mind, and then you look at the other teammates then struggling with the hint, sometimes not, sometimes more obvious because the clue was really good or something like that, or the card was really easy. And sometimes you listen to the discussion and such, so the other teammate, like the other team, while they're doing nothing, they're like, but you are anticipating. So you as the other team, although you gave the combination and you're not guessing, you're kind of not in the game, but you're still in the game. You're looking at the other team like, oh, this card is definitely not. And you're like, in your mind, like, oh yes, they are eliminating the card that really is the one that we have given to them, you know, and such things. So it's fun to see the process of other team trying to guess that card. And that's where Muse shines, in my opinion. There is also a variant for 2 and 3 players where you have, first of all, I like to play it with 2 teams. And you can play with 3 teams, there's up to 12 players here, yes. And there's a variant for 2 and 3 players, which is cooperative variant, where you just take cards and then you take a hint and a card and then you put it together and try to guess. So cooperative variant is fine and you can do it as an activity, but in teams it's, I don't know, it's better, it's just better. So if you have 4 players, then teams of 2, but the thing about this one is that it might not be exciting with 4 players. So, as I told you, the aspect of the other teammates, the other team, is discussing amongst them what card to pick. And this is kind of an inspiration for you. This is kind of a fun part for the other players to watch. And with 4 players, one is Muse and the other one is guessing. So, of course, we can ask each other, so maybe you can think about your thoughts out loud, then it's more exciting. Like in Mysterium, when you play a 2-player Mysterium. But it's still better when it's like 3 on 3, or yeah, 3 on 3 might be. So 6 players is good, over 6 is good as well. Maybe not too much. If you play only with 2 teams, then not too much. But with 3 teams, there's more downtime on the other hand. So kind of the balance is maybe 6 to 8 players for me. So still, that's Muse, great art and lovely gameplay. I do like it. It's a cool party game in my opinion. And I give it a bronze Würfel medal. And that's it. So take a look at this game. You might like it. Thank you for watching. We'll see you another time. Bye. This channel is sponsored by Osprey Games. Check them out at ospreypublishing.com.